Good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful day. Welcome to the Fascast, your weekly podcast of everything football, fantasy, predictions, bets, you name it, we got it all. We're going to be Thursday morning, 8 a.m. every week. Joined here by the Fast Brothers. Let's get right into it. Let's talk football, guys. How you feeling? Season starting. I'm getting
I
amped up myself. What is it? A week away. Let's do it. How you
Dude,
guys feeling?
7 hours of commercial-free football on Sunday. It feels like Christmas morning every single time I hear that for the first time. I'm so excited. I cannot wait.
Dude, it's the best time of
It's
year.
been pretty hectic,
Best feeling in
honestly.
the world. Best feeling.
Best time of the
Preseason
year.
and trade deadline. Well, not trade deadline, but like off-season signings and stuff like that. It's actually been kind of nuts. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if it's because I just started heavily tuning into things, or if this year was just out of the ordinary. But it's been nuts.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah, a
just
lot of crazy moves.
reach away too. But yeah, let's get right into just the conversation of everything, kicking everything off for the season. Your guys, the two brothers that are incorrect in their team choice, AFC East, the Bills over there, and I'm a Cowboys fan myself. We're gonna do the NFC.
Talk about incorrect team. Oh my god.
We're gonna do some division predictions. So I want records from everyone. I want where you think everyone's gonna place in each of our favorite teams' divisions, and what's the outcome of it. Why do you think they're gonna approach their playoff implications? Everything. Let's go over divisions.
Wait, I have a question first.
Yes.
I have a question first. Is it possible to have 18 to have negative wins? Because there's one on this list that I would give negative.
I don't know if that's in the rule book, but we could. Let me see. Let me look that up. See if no, absolutely not. But all right, yeah, we'll start with you two. I'm gonna save the best for last in the NFC East over here.
Speaking of last place in the NFC East, Dallas Cowboys. No, I'm just kidding.
Hell yeah. No, but there's one clear cut, obviously, in the AFC East here. One just does not belong. It's the Patriots. I'm sorry, they're just horrible. They're garbage. They haven't been the same after Tom Brady. So, R.I.P. Bill Belichick and R.I.P. The Patriots. They couldn't get it done with Mac Jones. So I mean, they're never going to get it done.
I was gonna say, if you can't do it with Mac Jones, who are you gonna do it with?
Exactly right. I mean, that's the best quarterback in the division, easily by
Definitely
far.
seems like a huge rebuilding. They're getting rid of all the coaching staff, the legendary Bill.
For sure, they just got rid of. They just
Speaking
traded
of-
Matthew Judon, right? Too. So that's one of their biggest star defenders, and he's gone. So they're definitely rebuilding.
Even rookie QB starting. I think they're going to build around him. Speaking of Drake May, in his preseason and his showouts, do you think for the Patriots that he should week one start repping it out, get in the game, and how do you think his
Yeah, dude. I don't know why you wouldn't. I mean, the kid. I mean, preseason he's been good. I mean, it's because you can't be at New England, but this is essentially your future. If you buy into him, you got to start giving him NFL reps. You got to start, putting him in the game and letting him see how much different it is than college. You know that they're not going to win. Like they have essentially no hope at doing anything good this year. So get him in the game and get him looking at actual, snaps.
I mean, I think the thought is there. Like, what if he's not fully ready for it? I hear a lot of people talking to because based on their schedule, waiting till week 4, week 5 until they start throwing them starting in the game. Maybe you get them. I don't know. It's just such a horrible QB position to have. But yeah, what do you feel about waiting until a few weeks until they get through?
I mean, essentially that's what preseason's for.
And,
preseason's kind of for that. Obviously, you're not playing, the final, 53-man roster, but it's still NFL players nonetheless. So you put them in preseason and let them duke it out.
Yeah,
Obviously,
I do like Jacoby Brissett though. I mean, he's all right. I mean, he's definitely nothing too special. Not a franchise-winning quarterback or anything, but I like starting him if he feels fine. I like starting him, having Drake May watch a little bit. And when he inevitably doesn't do is that great, throw Drake May in there, and they also have Joe Milton in there too. I mean, I know people are talking about him. I don't. Obviously, he's currently going third string right now.
You need a
throwing
60-yard throw, put in Joe Milton. He'll
exactly
give you a
right.
60-yard throw. You need a 15-yard throw, put in Joe Milton. He'll give you a 60-yard throw.
Absolutely right. I mean, yeah. So I mean, they could really go with anything. I think it's going to be like about the same result. So I guess my thought is just give him the reps, I guess.
All right, but yeah, sorry I sidetracked on the Patriots there. So we're all in agreement here that they're probably not going to go anywhere from the bottom of the division. Yeah.
yeah, their coach.
Yeah, no,
I have them at realistically. I mean,
Wins.
I think they have a pretty tough schedule, at least to begin with. But I'm gonna put them at 4.
4.
So I have them at 4-13, and that's with high hopes
I don't
that they
have
run
much
into.
higher. I have them at 5. I have them at 5 wins. So.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. No. I'm going with I'm going with 3. I'm not giving them that much. I'm giving them. I'm giving them what I think they are. They really don't have anything special, defense or offense right now. I can't. I don't know. They might crank out one. They might crank out a couple here and there. But.
And now this is, I think, where we're all going to start straying away because I think this division is going to be really competitive this year. So
I actually do too.
In third.
Well, I was kind of teetering on this mainly because I think this team has actually a decent there's a decent ceiling here because of a certain individual. He's back from the forests of the Neverland, the pyramids in Egypt. Aaron Rodgers. I have them in third, but not by a lot. Like you said, it's going to be competitive. But with Aaron Rodgers and their kind of revamped defense, I honestly think that they're. I have them at 9-8. I see them doing pretty well as long as Aaron Rodgers can make it past 78 seconds in the first game.
Yeah, that's tragic. Yeah, I think he's going to have a strong season as well. I'm exactly the same. Jets, I have them one more win as well as you two. I have them at 10 wins, 10-7.
What is going on here?
It's. I think this division, 3 teams are making it to the playoffs. I think this
is
going to be one of the
it looks pretty good, honestly.
Strongest divisions in the AFC this year.
I'm excited for the Jets.
I got no surprises, no spoilers from me. It's Bills, Dolphins, Jets all making the playoffs this year.
I would honestly, I would like to see that. It's definitely close. Every time I swear, every time I look at the AFC East, my answers change a little bit. Do I really have faith in the Bills with their wide receiver room right now to take the division, even though they were so close to losing it last time? I don't know, but I do also have the Jets at third, and I have them actually the exact same as first brother there at 8 wins or 9 wins. Sorry, 9 wins. So I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be tough. I know they have a great team, but they're still kind of new to it all. I think 9 is a good place to have them.
There's no way we're all agreeing on this so far. 9-8, 9-8. I got them 10-7. All right, we got 2 spots left. We got 2 teams left. Who you guys taking the division? Who's going second?
So speaking of 10-7, I have Miami at 10-7. I just don't have a lot of trust in Tua. That's literally the only factor.
Hawk to the tag of Iowa. I like him a lot.
Yeah,
I really do. I think people underestimate him. I think he's. How many yards did he have? I think he had the highest passing yards last year. Did he not?
He had Let me
I don't
look.
think so.
The Google is a powerful tool. So he had 4,600 yards last year passing
Yeah, he had the most.
with almost a
Yeah,
70%
okay.
Yeah, he had the
completion
most
percentage.
passing yards last year. Where does that
Yeah,
come
but
from?
how many
He also had
Tyreek Hill?
560 attempts, and then he had, like Caleb said, Tyreek Hill.
How many was that yards after catch? I mean, either way, you get into it. Yeah, he had a
560
solid
attempts is less
performance.
than the top 5.
He had a very solid performance, of
Brock
course.
Purdy's the only one that had like 100 less than that.
Dude, I don't know what that team is on. Brock Purdy
Brock,
is.
I'm
Brock
telling
Purdy
you,
just gets to Christian
Tua
McCaffrey.
is extremely underestimated. I remember everyone was making a meme when Tyreek a couple years ago was saying he's the most accurate quarterback in the league, and then everyone was posting videos of him like shanking balls everywhere. But I'm telling you, he's everyone underestimates his ability. Tua's
He actually
really
had
good.
he had a lower QBR. I mean, he only played 13 games in 22.
And we know all the like injuries, the head injuries and stuff he went through. He bounced back. Seems like he's still there. He makes like just I want to say crazy mistakes. He can throw it pretty far downfield. According to Tyreek, he's the most accurate. He had the highest passing yards, and yes, Tyreek had half of that. But yeah, the receiver core is good. But I mean, the, all the other teams have elite wide receivers, and even if you're looking at a top 5, Josh Allen, Dak Prescott MVP conversation, Brock Purdy MVP conversation, all of them are under like the passing yards and attempts and more attempts than them. And so yeah, that's my 2 cents on Tua. I think he's stronger than everyone thinks.
I mean, last year was his only full season that he's played. He played all 17 last year. Hasn't done it in his career once. And I mean, he did look good. I'll give him to that. He really did. I don't know. I'm just not crazy about him. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about Tua and the Dolphins, but I mean, you get them to play in, anything less than 60-degree weather, and they're all terrified.
Yeah, that too. They do struggle.
December is a horrible month for the Dolphins.
That is true. Yeah, they have a bad.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who they're playing against.
Yeah. So for me, I have the Dolphins and Bills deadlocked, 12-5, both of them, and both division records 4-2. By schedule, I put Bills above the Dolphins, so it's Bills, Dolphins, Jets. But I see that going anyway, give or take a win there. I could see either one of those being number 1 in the division. Like I said, I got all 3 of these guys going to the playoffs anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can see that those top 2 flipping a game, less than a game. But for now, just for like prediction's sake, I have them both at 12-5.
And I actually, as much as it pains me, I have the Bills under the Dolphins in this case. I have the Bills with 11, and I have the Dolphins with 12.
Oh, I have
I
the
think
Bills
the
for 11.
Bills.
Dude, that's weird. Isn't it weird? Omen? I don't know. We both Bills fans have the Bills at 11-6. I mean,
Yeah,
come on. Come on.
I think they're going to struggle early, like they did last year. They're not going to be exactly with each other quite yet. They're going to still be trying to figure it out. I mean, Joe Brady had like what, half of a season, maybe 3/4 of a season. He's still kind of getting used to everything. I mean, I'm sure it's not really too hard to figure out with Josh Allen. I mean, just if you don't see something, tuck it and run. But obviously, he doesn't want him to do that much. But I think they're going to struggle early on. I actually think they're probably going to give another stupid game away to the Patriots somehow. So I don't know. I think the early struggle is going to be too much for him to come back from this time, because it almost was last year too, but they just clutched it out in the last couple games.
I think the saving grace, honestly, for the Bills this year is no Stephon Diggs. I honestly think that's a good thing for the Bills. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, he's just, well, I say all the time he's a diva. He's just a diva. That's what he is.
I would
He
too. He's good
brings
on the
problems
field, though.
into the locker room. He's good on the
Yes,
field,
He's good
but
on the field. Who's like? I feel like the offense they lost all the receiving core. But
they
what I will
did,
say
but they
about the
didn't.
Bills is like Josh Allen is like the guy for the Bills. You think of the Bills, you instantly think of Josh Allen. He's the player of the team. But that's also a good thing, and I think it's a very bad thing as well. Because like of all, even last year, all the high turnover rates and all the things he did, and indecisions of running and where he's throwing to, and it has a lot to do, I think, with the changing of the offensive coordinators kind of there, and how that all played out, and they put it more in Josh's hand, and he ran a little bit more, and every time he threw, he was making kind of like, I have to make this huge miraculous play, and he got himself in a lot of picks. So I feel like it's blessing curse type thing. Like, he's gonna be your superstar. He's also gonna be the reason why you lose the game too.
The only good thing
it's just
about
the nature
Josh's
of it.
interceptions, though, most of the time is that when he gets intercepted, it's because he's launching a ball all the way to the moon and straight back down. So it's all the way downfield. It's almost like they punt every time he gets intercepted. So that's the one good thing I would say about his
It's also
turnovers.
valid, yeah.
But then again, there's still turnovers. So yeah, I agree. He's kind of a glass cannon. He's gonna get it done, or he's gonna make a little oopsie daisies. But that's why I love him. He's my Josh.
The dude is legit. You got to give him. He's
yeah, he's one of the elites.
I mean,
For sure.
realistically, it's. I mean, you're gonna say it's biased, but I don't think it is. I think he's better than Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, no, you got no.
Nah.
No, I do.
No, that's no.
Why would you say he's not better?
Let's see. How many Super Bowls has he won?
Okay, how many people are dating Taylor Swift on the Bills?
Can we count them? Can we count
0. Boom.
Yep.
Up top, baby.
There you go.
Okay.
Yep.
Right. That's what I thought. And Mahomes has what? How many now?
Mahomes has played with the number
He's
one receiver, number one tight end, number one defensive end. He's played
Why do you
with
think
number one.
Why do you think they're all number one? It's because who's throwing them the ball?
Number one coach. Andy Reid up too. My God.
Why do you think they're number one?
No. But I agree. I think Patrick Mahomes is over Josh.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Yeah, there's
no. I agree with that.
It's not like it's as far like, oh my God, he's so far ahead. But I mean, like he's it's Mahomes. You can't.
I would 100% take Josh Allen on my team over Mahomes any day, mainly because of when it's time to get extra yards. All right, so for me, when you had to pick, if you have to pick one to get you 7 yards on the ground, and not just like
Lamar.
The pocket collapses and you have room to scramble.
Mayfield.
Well, okay, Gardner Minshew, but anyway, this dude will literally take a hit after 2 yards and get 8 extra yards with a body on him.
Unit, for sure.
He's a big boy.
But
he's a big dude and he moves.
Because for me, like, I was like the least biggest fan of Tom Brady because he's the best. But I always hated Brady because he would always win. So it's funny coming from me, like jumping on the like Mahomes thing. I'm not Chris Collinsworth. Trust me, I'm not like that far into Mahomes. But yeah, I like. There's nothing that I can argue like for Mahomes, because usually for me I'm like, I hate seeing these guys win all the time. They're just way too good. All the media's hyping him up because this says that, but he's actually like, there's nothing I can say to argue against it. So I'm stuck with Mahomes as number one. But
you're rooting for them to lose every year, but when they win, you're just like, I kind of saw it coming, kind of thing, because that's just who they are, The only thing that's really stopping me from being like, okay, Kansas City is good, is the whole Taylor Swift thing. No, no offense to anyone that likes, Taylor Swift, all the Swifties out there, good for you, whatever. But I just can't stand it. I don't know. The last Super Bowl, was it rigged? Was it not? Who knows?
All right, let's switch over to NFC, the better division, with the better teams, aka one team.
New York Giants. Yeah, we all know.
Yes.
Yeah, the Giants are much better.
Let's go over placements here. What we all think, kind of same thing. We'll start bottom, go from the top. Number 4. Who you guys got? How many wins?
Let's get, no. It's gonna be the Giants. It's gonna be the Giants. Daniel Jones. I think I said enough.
Yeah, you pretty much.
I have the Giants at 4 wins.
Wow, that's generous.
It is. I know it is. I know it is. But
I
I got them at 4. I think they're just gonna sneak a few that they probably shouldn't every time.
I mean, they actually have a tough schedule.
Yeah,
They,
I have them as the worst team in the league this year with 3 wins.
Wow, that's okay. I have them with 2 wins, and I can tell you exactly what weeks.
Oh, wow, yeah, that's okay. Who do they win?
I have them beating New Orleans week 14, and then Carolina week 10, and that's literally it.
Okay, I have them at 3. But
I mean, yeah, those are winnable games.
They're
I got
both
them at
at
4.
home.
There's always those a few games, division games too. I mean, division games you can't count those out. You know,
Yeah, they can get
even though
crazy.
you think they're gonna be a clean sweep, you got Dallas Cowboys. They love to
Alright.
throw games. Put Zach. They got Zeke back. Put him at center.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah,
Say, all right.
sorry, oh, my bad, my bad.
Why?
My bad, my bad. My
Say
bad,
why?
I'm already hurting enough. I'm 30 and I haven't seen a win it's been 30 years. Okay, just leave me alone.
I think I actually am gonna run down tomorrow to my local Blockbuster and get their Super Bowl winning
Here
VHS.
we go again. All right. At least we've won a Super Bowl. Okay.
Bro. Yeah, but you have never
now
had
you guys
OJ
get
Simpson
caught.
on your team, have you?
No. All right. Okay.
No.
Let's get.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Next time.
Next, I got Commanders pretty easily. 5 wins for me.
Hmm. 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 Interesting.
Don't tell me.
I have them at
5
six.
wins.
Oh, okay. I
No.
was gonna say. Don't tell me.
No, I have them at 6 wins. It's kind of the same story. I don't see. I mean, it's very hard. They got Jaden Daniels, yeah, sure, but
I was gonna go into that. Yeah, see what rookie QBs we have in both of these. So
yeah, I mean, it's cool. Like, there's not much to say past Jaden Daniels. I mean, I mean, I don't even know. There's nothing there for the commies. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I really liked Sam Howell. I'm not gonna lie. I liked him a lot. Obviously,
Yeah,
though,
a
if
lot
you
of
have a
heart.
draft pick, somebody like Jaden Daniels, you're gonna take him. Now, the thing with Jaden Daniels is, I think he might run into the same issues that Anthony Richardson ran into last year, because he likes to run and he doesn't like to tuck. Anthony Richardson got hurt twice. First time was, I think, 1 game or 2 games last year. Second time he was out for the season.
Yeah.
I think unless they get on his case about getting down and trying to avoid hits and stuff like that, I don't see him starting every game, or even if he does start every game, they're probably going to pull him. I mean, obviously in big blowouts and stuff, they're going to pull him anyway. But you have Marcus Mariota, which he's really not even a backup. He's a third string. I don't know. I just see him getting into trouble with his legs.
Caleb, you got
I
Commanders as well.
yeah, I do, but I kind of like I don't. I mean, I like Jane Daniels. Everyone talks about his legs, but he's also. I mean, you're talking about Heisman winner. Right? He doesn't have just his legs. He's a pretty deep. Like he's a pretty good passer. I think their wide receiver core is still okay. I mean, Terry McLaurin is still like just fine. Their defense is, well, it was the worst in the league last year. And they beefed it up a tiny bit.
The big
I
thing
think
there
they
too
have.
is Dan Quinn
I
is
think,
the head coach now.
yeah,
I was almost gonna
yeah,
jump on that
yeah.
wagon too. That I think the
That's
Commanders
that's
are
also
gonna
very true. I almost forgot about that.
outshow.
Yeah.
They're gonna outshow this year. I almost did it, but yeah.
Which is why I have them at 7 wins. I think their schedule isn't as like too bad. I have them at 7 wins, maybe even 8, maybe, but I'm leaning towards 7.
All right,
Yeah,
and
it's
the
pretty
moment
close.
of truth is the NFC East cursed.
Oh, you
Curse
guys
gonna
are
be
probably
lifted.
gonna fucking. You guys are probably gonna torch me for this. I'm not gonna lie.
What do you got?
Why?
uh, I have the Eagles underneath the Cowboys.
Oh,
barely going over 500.
Really?
Yeah, I have them at 9-8.
Oh.
I have the exact opposite. I have the Cowboys 9-8, also missing the playoffs this year. Uh, I feel like their schedule is way harder. Every time they've played against a playoff team, aside from the Rams last year, because they were earlier in the year where they weren't the playoff Rams yet, they've
Yep.
lost, and they got not even just lost, but they got torched. I was sitting at the Bills Cowboys game in the rain, freezing cold, watching it in real time.
Flew all the way from Florida
Just sitting there
to a
like
December Bills game, sitting there in the freezing cold rain,
that, and a lot of like
watching his team get demolished.
the
Oh my
contract
gosh,
things.
that was the best.
It was horrible, but
It was the best face I've seen on Justin in a long time. It was great. I had a blast.
just in watching all like the contract stuff going on. CD just got his deal, which I'm happy about. I have questions with Dak. Like, he's a regular season hero, but when it comes to postseason, where the Cowboys want to go, he just doesn't get it done.
He's basically the Clayton Kershaw of the NFL.
So yeah, I always fear that I'm gonna like wake up in the morning and scroll through Twitter and be like, Dak Prescott, new deal, 4-year deal, 5-year deal, and I'll be like, well,
No, I honestly, in my heart of hearts, believe that if Dak doesn't get it done this year, he's cooked.
I think
He's
so
gone.
too. I think so too. But then you like
Sure.
look at like Trey Lance and his outing in the preseason and last game. He's throwing 5 interceptions. You got to think that like Dak's sitting there like, okay, well, now you have no backup, so now he's
Cooper Rush.
yeah.
Yep.
No, I also have I have the Cowboys at 9-8 as well. It's only because of this schedule too. I think with Dak and CD during the regular season, I put them above a lot of different QB wide receiver duos in the league, but it's that middle of the schedule there. It's a really rough stretch, and I think if they start losing those early games too, it's just gonna kind of domino effect into the middle stages of that schedule, and they're gonna struggle. So I do have them at 9 though, just going over 50, and I do have the Eagles going over them, but not by too much. I have them at 11, maybe 10, but I don't. With Saquon, I think that is a great offense. They have a great offense. It's just their defense that is a little shaky, and their O line too. Their O line's a little without Jason Kelsey. I mean, you got to think about that too.
Eagles another time too about their like supernatural what the heck happened at the end of the year last year. We'll get more into that at a different time, but yeah, I have the same 11-6. I feel like they pull out of it, and the curse does not lift this year. And if you don't know what the curse I'm talking about is, there hasn't been the same division winner in over like some odd, like a huge amount of years. It's been a different division winner every year. Cowboys won last year. I think it doesn't change this year. I think the Eagles win this year, the division.
That's kind of weird. I have the Cowboys at 11-6 too. So what you guys said for the Eagles, I have the Cowboys there.
Little flip flop.
Oh yeah, a
Action.
little,
Flip
a little
flop on the
flippy
beach.
floppy.
Kick
I
it to
just,
the
I don't
sand.
know. Would I step it on the beach? Root toot toot. Yeah, I just don't. I don't have any faith in the Eagles being. Yeah, that season last year was wild. How they just collapsed.
Yeah,
I don't
crazy.
know if it's
They
one
went
of
from
those things.
juggernaut. They went from top one, like the first team, right next to San Francisco, and then they just
Yeah, and
dropped off
just-
the face of the earth.
Nuts.
Yeah, absolutely
Before we
disappeared.
go crazy into that, because I want to save that for another time. Let's go into like the fantasy portion. We're gonna do segments here in the podcast, so we'll give our predictions, bets, that kind of thing. Move on to fantasy. What do you for the fantasy today? We're going into our home draft coming this week, this weekend. So everyone wants to know who you're
By the way,
picking.
I'm the champion. By the way, I'm the champion of our last year's thing. So you should listen to me more than these guys, okay? Because
We'll
I
see how it pans
obviously know
out,
what I'm talking
because
about.
this is
Oh,
all,
yeah.
This is all something we can look back on and be like, haha, you were wrong. But let's go over, while I grab another PBR, 3 of your must-have
Not a sponsor.
fantasy picks. You have to draft them. Top 3 picks. Can be anyone, can be any rounds. We could do late rounds. We could do value picks. Anything you guys want in your minds.
Well,
Because obviously, it's top three. Everyone's gonna want
Yeah.
CMC. Let's go for like something value top
let,
three.
let,
You have to have.
let me go
after
first
round
here.
one pick.
Let me go first here. My top pick.
So I'll go first.
Just
No, I'm
gave the
kidding.
news. Die. Just kidding. In game. In Minecraft. Anyways, first pick I got here. Don't steal it. Okay, you guys, don't listen to me. You can shut your mics off now. Whatever. I don't really care. Josh Jacobs. He is currently going, I think, pick 39-ish. He's ranked 10, I believe, running back. So what's that? A late third rounder. He is. I mean, 2 years ago. I mean, right? It was about 2 years ago. He led the league in rushing yards in Las Vegas, which is a pretty decent benchmark there. Now he's going into Green Bay, who just had a very fantastic season given what they had and given what people expected from them. But also today, actually, just dropped this morning. I saw it at work and I got all giddy because I've drafted him in two of my public leagues now. AJ Dillon just went out with a neck injury and he will be out for the whole season. So, other than
That's actually what I was
other than
referring
Josh
to.
Jacobs there, what is there? So I think he's going to be a workhorse in a very pretty up there off. I'd say almost a top 10 offense in the league. I think you can't really go wrong with taking Josh Jacobs, especially where he is right now in the third round. I would honestly call him a second rounder for me, and I might actually be drafting him in second round so these guys don't steal him on me.
Actually, that's what I was referring to when I joined the Discord call, and I asked if you guys heard the news about AJ Dillon.
Yeah,
today at work.
I sure did.
Yep. Out for the season. No jokes this time.
Yeah, no, actually. Do you guys want to go like one by one, or do you want to give all three?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So a little bit of a wild card. I'm obviously staying away from like first rounders. It's obvious. But for me, right, I'm gonna start with a little how you doing? Lad McConkey on the LA Chargers. He has proven to be Justin Herbert's favorite target. He ran a, what was it, like a 4.3, almost, I think it was like 4.4, maybe 4.39 40. I think, and you can quote me on this, I think, barring injuries, obviously, he is going to be this year's Puka Nacua.
All right, hold on. I'm reading. Hold on, I'm reading the question here. I thought I had it wrong. It says your top three fantasy picks.
Yes.
Top three.
Wait.
That you must draft.
Yeah, Lad McConkey.
That's in your top three.
I said I was saying out of top 10.
Okay.
But if you want to go top three, I mean,
top three must have. Okay. You think a breakout wide receiver, Justin Herbert? Why can't I think of his name? Breakout season?
Who, for Lad McConkey?
Yeah.
I think so. I think, like I said, I think he's going to be this year's Puka Nacua.
All right, I'll talk about my number one, which is you must draft. Every draft you have, try to target this guy, no matter what. Whoever you go after, it has to be this guy. I'm not going any tight ends because I feel like those are all swap outable. Even your Sam Laporta, Travis Kelsey's. The only reason Sam Laporta looks so up there and so great is because of all of his touchdowns last year. If you take away his touchdown points, he's right down about like 9 points a game with like your Dalton Kincaids and all those guys down there. So just the touchdown potential, I think, isn't going to be as great for tight ends. I don't know why I added that in there, but my number one must have aside from the top tier, you're looking at your after dead zone into the 7/8 round, if he's available, because no one's going to take him at the top. Must have. And Caleb doesn't like it because he's been a
It's
solo
for
back
today, Junior.
Please don't.
for so long,
No.
and he's had no. It's Rashad White. It's Rashad White. You got to take him before the dead zone. He's literally what Caleb was saying before. The solo back hasn't proven, and he has had the solo carries past couple of years. But I feel like Tampa this year and the check down potential in a PPR format, and Rashad White, everyone's going to downplay him. I feel like he's going to come out to be pretty high in the running back rankings.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think he's good. I think he's obviously, where he's at. I just think he's a little overpriced where he's at right now. I mean, I think he's good. I just don't think he's going to be fantastic. I mean, of course he's got, the receptions, whatever. He's got, I think it was 9 touchdowns or whatever last year, which is good, but I just don't like him as a player. I just don't. Every time I see him run the ball, I'm not like wowed. Like, wow, this is a guy that's gonna do it for me every single year. But I mean, that could just be me. I could just be spewing absolute garbage right now. But it's just what I think. I don't know. You can formulate your own opinion if you need to, but
Yeah, that's what we're all here for, So Caleb, who's your number 2? I'm actually kind of going in reverse order here. Don't mind me.
Number 2. Yeah, well, okay. I'm gonna go way down. I mean, now I think a lot of people are going to be seeing him a lot earlier because of some other news. But this is someone that was going, I think, pick like 120-ish or around there. And this isn't a guy that you're gonna want to start forever. This is for the first 4 weeks, possibly more, maybe week 5 or week 6. You can have him on here, and then you can ditch him. But this is for a value pick. I think this is going to be a fantastic person that is going to make the beginning of your fantasy season spectacular, and that is Jerome Ford, running back for Cleveland. I think last year he was given a slight opportunity with Chubb going out. He was giving an opportunity, and he was getting a pretty good amount of points. He was catching the ball, he was running the ball, he was getting touchdowns. He was running back 1. And I mean, you look at the room now, nothing has changed. Chubb they just announced he's on IR for at least the first 4 weeks. He's basically going to have a 75-25 split, maybe, with that and the whoever is the third stringer there. I'm not entirely sure his name. So I think Jerome Ford, for his price right now, will get you a very, very good amount of points as a flex option in the later rounds for the first couple weeks.
Interesting.
Brandon, number 2.
Brandon, number 2.
My number 2, quite simply, it's a no-brainer to me. Zach Moss. Zach Moss is that guy. He's also pretty much the sole. This is gonna sound kind of sus, but the sole load carrier or load taker, if you will. Phrasing. But I mean, the dude, when JT was out, didn't want to play. He was being a diva. Zach Moss came in for the Colts, and he just ran stuff. He did what he needed to do, and the dude's a tank. There's nobody behind him of value on Cincinnati. Obviously, Jamar Chase is expected to play week 1, so you got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins still, Joe Burrow. Pretty good receiving core, but Zach Moss can also low-key catch the ball. He averages like 7 yards per reception, and he just gets it done. He didn't have how many games did he play last year? It was like 14 out of 17. His numbers weren't insane in terms of like stat wise, like his yards or his touchdowns, but he was 27th in carries in the league. And it was quite fitting because he was also 27th in yards. This year, carrying the entire workload for Cincy, I think he's going to provide an insane value because nobody's really looking at him. Nobody really knows who he is. So he would be my number 2 must-have.
I like it. Number 2 for me, and I'm not going to hold you guys waiting. Cooper Kupp. I feel
Cooper Kupp.
Yep, he's it's a huge value now, especially if you pick up even your wide receiver too. Pick him up early. I think he's fallen way down the ADP. Let's see. He's ADP. Let's see. He's down there. I can't see it. I was trying to look, but it's just purely based off of feel. We can't forget what Cooper Kupp did before. And just because of a few injuries, I know they got Nakua there, and everyone's going crazy about him. He had a crazy rookie year. Holy crap! Look at this guy coming off. Like, who is this guy? Everyone's picking him up off of waivers week 1 because no one knew who Puka Nakua was. I feel like we switched that. We're going back to the Cooper Kupp era, and I feel like Matthew Stafford has a really strong I'm going to one guy. Matthew Stafford's going to one guy, and I feel like the roles flip again. Yes, Nakua is very strong. He's ahead of Kupp this year, obviously in ADP and drafts. Just purely based off feel, that's going to be your must-have fantasy pick wide receiver, and no one's going to expect to flip this year.
I actually do like that. I like that a lot. I agree with the whole Puka Nakua craze there, and Cooper Kupp falling kind of as low as he is. I mean, I get it with the injury, but yeah, I agree. I think he's still gonna do well, especially with Matthew Stafford throwing it to him. And my number 3 must have. No joke. All right, let's keep our straight faces on here. Okay?
It's Rico Dowdle, isn't it?
No, it's not Rico Dowdle.
Rico Dowdle.
Now, this is not even a position you would expect. Okay, guys, we're going to the kickers. Brandon Aubrey.
God.
I'm telling you right now.
Okay. I was not.
He's gonna outscore 90% of these wide receiver 2s. This guy. Oh my God! Let me tell you. Oh my God! I wanna give him a little smooch. Just kidding, guys. I'm kidding, guys. It was just a joke, guys.
I don't think
no, but really, I mean, this guy. I'm not kidding. Anyways. Dude, I mean, you know how bad the Cowboys' offense is, right?
I have seen
it's
less
pretty
glazing
bad.
at
It's
a
pretty
Krispy
horrible.
Kreme
Zeke center. All they gotta do is get they get they're at 25-yard line. They start at the 25-yard line. They throw 2 first downs. You're 40. You're at your own 45. This dude can kick a field goal from there.
Did you see him hit the 66 yards in preseason?
Yeah, dude that would have been good from 75.
By the way, the only field goal he missed last year was the one that was blocked.
Yeah, no, the dude is nuts. If it's not a sign to get more soccer players in the league as kickers, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what these soccer players are doing if they're still playing soccer and setting the bench the whole time. Just come to the NFL and you'll make 74-yarders look easy. But no, seriously, Brandon Aubrey. I mean, I'm if I can, I'm picking him around earlier than everyone else. Oh my God, let me tell you, 5 points for over 50 yards with a trash Cowboys offense. He's going to get you 30 points a game, and you're going to be like, wow, thank you for telling me about Brandon Aubrey. And you're welcome, by the way.
All right, brother, let's get through our threes, and then we're going to go to next, and then everyone's favorite game.
I'm taking Brandon Audrey in my first round in our league.
No,
but my number 3, we talked about this earlier. Darnell Mooney. Darnell Mooney is my number 3. Darnell Mooney is now in Atlanta. He was on a terrible Chicago offense. He now has Kirk Cousins, who is a solid QB. Consistent. I'd say consistent, right? He's a very consistent QB. Yeah, there's a lot of firepower there, but you can't hit your wide receiver one every single time unless you're Matt Stafford with Puka Nakua. Just the entire offense on Atlanta is just disgusting. It's very, very scary. And I think, like I said, I'm not going, first rounders, or it's more like your wide receiver twos, running back twos, and stuff like that. He's going to be the guy that you're going to want to have. There's just so much upside to having Darnell Mooney. He's now got a good offense, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Pick him up.
I just think he's trash. So
Yeah, he's definitely. And we can go into that offense, Drake London and everything. I feel like I stay away from him too. I don't know. I think I have to see it. I think Drake London hasn't been above like the wide receiver 40 since he's been in the league for fantasy, which is pretty low. But yeah, my number three, going quick, is rookie wide receiver. I think he's going to be the top of the class here coming in first year.
Don't do it.
Don't tell me.
Worthy.
No,
Oh, God, come on, dude.
Yep, must have Xavier Worthy. I think he's gonna, with the power of Mahomes behind him.
No, I really don't like this
Rashee
conversation anymore.
Rice, news.
I don't.
Looks like
I don't
he's not
understand
getting
why the Bills do
suspended,
that.
But I feel like out of all the class rookies coming in this year, even over Adunze and the Williams combo, Marvin Harrison, which everyone seems to think he's like going crazy. He's like super high up in the ADP right now. I think Xavier Worthy pumps it out, gets the rookie class of the year. He's going to score a lot of points for fantasy this year.
I'm not going to lie. I'm very upset with what you just said.
Yeah, I know. You guys are pretty salty about the.
I don't understand why the Chiefs. I don't understand why the Bills ever trade with the Chiefs ever. Go away. I don't know why.
It hurts every single time.
Every single year too. It's every single year.
It hurts. It hurts my soul.
Always a pick like this in the first round, and it's like, I honestly wish he has a horrible season, and it's not because I have anything against the man. I just hope that Kansas City doesn't get another good pick off the Bills, because if they do, I will probably cry a little bit on the inside.
This year, that's just how it is.
I'm gonna please
no. Write all those down. Top 3 picks from all of us. Those are going to be your fantasy league winners this year. They're going to score you a ton of points. Draft all of them if you can. Next, moving on from fantasy, I just want to hear your guys' thoughts because going into the season and the new look and the new feel of everything, and I'm getting crazy excited. What do you guys think? Everything you've seen gathered so far from preseason, the new looking kickoff. How does it hold in your guys' eyes? Are coaches just going to fly it out of the end zone, start at the 30 every time? I also heard that sometime during the preseason, the commissioners all got together. They were thinking about starting at the 35 because this was already discussion. They're already kind of having some doubts and thoughts about it. What do you guys think? How does it look to you? Is it crazy? How do you feel about it? What do you think is going to go down? Are we going to see some returns, different plays, different returners? Everything.
I mean, that's the thing. I think what they wanted was more returns, and I think there is definitely going to be a lot more returns. I think there's going to be a lot more returning touchdowns. It does look pretty goofy, though, still. I mean, I watched like pretty much most of the preseason games, and every time I saw it, I was like chuckled a little bit on the inside. It looks a little goofy.
It does look crazy.
But it's they wanted more returns. It's kind of safer for the returns. You don't have everyone getting a full head of steam. You got everyone blocked. I think it's all right for a safety standpoint as well as a return standpoint. The only thing I have that's truly against it is just how goofy it looks, but I don't think that's a very valid argumentative point there.
I mean, like the things that like the crazy sideways flipping kick that Butker did already. I feel like those sort of things and special teams and coordinators are gonna figure like the glitches to it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's
I'm
sure there's gonna be a. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a ton of things that people are going to figure out, and we're going to have another situation like, should this even be allowed? It's going to be a whole thing with this kickoff, but I'm sure we're going to figure it out, and I think it'll be okay.
If you had to keep it or go back to the traditional, what would you do?
I think it's still too early. I need to see the first couple weeks, like what people actually do during the actual season. I need to see all the cards laid out. I think it's still too early for me to make that decision right now.
I
I guess
realistically
if I had to, I would go back, but it's really just because of the goofiness. But I don't know.
I think it just really adds to the game. It literally, because if you think about it, right, last year, what do you think the percentage was of kickers kicking the ball through the end zone for a touchback?
Oh, it was high. It was
I
like
think it's going to be the
80%.
same. I
No.
honestly don't think that's going to change. I
So-
think the 5 yards isn't going to matter too much, especially like everything sound. I honestly think coaches are just send it, just keep kicking it out through the end zone. I think the 5 yards isn't going to make a difference, especially since the new setup, how everyone's like lined up at like the 40 now. I feel like there's going to be a lot more chance of those like set plays coming out where you're returning it for like 20 more yards than you're supposed to past the 30. I see that going the same this year.
I mean that is another thing. I think it opens up the field for the returners to just bust open and score more touchdowns. I
do
honestly
agree.
think so.
I do agree with that.
Because you watch the kick go up in the old rules, you watch the kick go up, you get a running start, and you're running the entire time it's in the air, and you can kind of gauge and kind of zone in and attack the returner in a specific way as to where you have to wait for him to touch the ball, and he can cut whatever way he wants to, whatever way he seems fit.
Yeah, it's like a set play thing. Like it's the same thing as a running play. The blockers are going to move a certain way, and yeah, it's just for me. I feel like just the extra 5 yards that you get, it's not going to matter too much. First, the risk of having him return something and be in field goal position.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, obviously, it's probably going to be like a team to team basis too. There are some teams that don't have as good return men.
Like I said, though, I mean the Cowboys. I mean Brandon Aubrey. That 30-yard mark is Brandon Aubrey's field goal range. So I don't think they want to give it to him.
Turn it to the 50-yard line, and you just kick a field goal already.
Well, that's why you gotta no at the 30-yard line. They can kick it right there. So that's why I think they gotta just go. They just gotta kick it in and try to make a tackle at the 1-yard line, so he can't kick it. Yeah. Just kidding, of course. It's a joke, by the way. I don't. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, like Caleb said, we're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to wait and see, kind of how it all breaks down. But I honestly think it just adds more to the game. It gives people a chance to return.
It's tough for me seeing yeah, I guess it's just so new that you have to see how it plays out and all these. I think that's exactly what the NFL is going for. Is like we want to see more plays, more returns, more scoring. Scoring is entertainment. Scoring is views. So I think that's the whole idea behind it. But yeah, I just see coaches punting it out of the freaking back of the end zone every time. But okay,
which is very possible. Yeah.
So final thoughts on that? Keeper, yes or no? If you were the final decision maker on it, are you keeping it or getting rid of it? Going back.
I'd keep it.
Get rid of it.
I'd keep it. Why not?
Goofy.
You know, we've been doing the same thing forever. Change it up a little bit. You see how it is. You can always change it back. You know.
Hey, sometimes traditional things are nice.
I like the traditional too.
Well, the games change. Everything changes. New equipment. People on steroids and eating their Wheaties and stuff like that.
Exactly. Go back to traditional. I want more people on. Just kidding again.
Hey, we'll see.
Now we've reached the point in time of the podcast for everyone's, and I mean everyone's, favorite game of the week. It's okay. It's not okay. Today for It's Okay, It's Not Okay. A lot of talks about this going around the league. Do you guys think it's okay to not show up to any of the team practices, camps, anything, if your contract deal hasn't been done yet for the NFL players? Specifically, the one that comes out to mind immediately to me, CeeDee Lamb situation.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
Doesn't show up, doesn't practice. Is there injury implications now that you haven't been training
What
with the
about a
team?
darkness retreat? Like Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers darkness retreat. Not practicing with the team. How long is it going to take you to get? All because your deal hasn't been done yet, but you still have like a year left on your current deal. Is it okay or not okay to skip out on all the team events, practice? I mean, yeah, no one wants to show up to work and train. Well, I guess that's the whole question. Do you feel like that's okay if they haven't been paid yet?
Here's my thing. You have an obligation. It really depends. If you're a free agent, obviously you gotta wait to sign. But if you have a contract with a team, you're just waiting on an extension. Go play. You're gonna get your extension whether you play or not. Obviously, it's a show of force to not show up in practice, but I think that's a load of crap. I honestly do. First of all, you're literally playing a game, and you're making millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars doing it. Not showing up to practice just because you want more money, to me, is absolutely crazy. It doesn't make any sense to me. You're, like I said, you're gonna get the money. Show up and go play the game.
I mean, the other argument to that is how does the team that you've played for and risked your body for and played like all these hard downs, hard tackles and hits that they don't even want to sign another deal with you? So they're holding out to either A, get a deal done, so it's like, hey, I can continue playing for you, or put my effort towards like training another team, something like that.
You don't think that the Cowboys would? I mean, a bad example because they don't draft anybody, they don't trade for anybody, they don't sign anybody, they don't do anything. They just sit there until the season starts and they say, "Oh my God, we're actually playing football now." Bad example, but we'll say Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson, right? You don't think that a team in contention, it'd be different if you played for like the Giants or the Patriots. You don't think a team in contention is going to sign you for big money, whether you play or not?
There's
To me,
probably
if I'm an owner and somebody's not showing up to practice because they want more money, realistically, yeah, it's cool to have you because you're a great talent.
well,
But
maybe it's not
that's
even
disrespectful.
necessarily more. Maybe it's just they want something because they're not signed. Am I playing here next year?
Well, you're gonna
Maybe
play.
they're working like on the back end deal, like um, they don't come to terms. Like you're doing your own personal training and stuff. I would assume.
Well, yeah, but it's not the team practice.
You would assume. I think at the end of the day, if you have a contract still remaining and you are set to play because of said contract
Yep.
for that team, you have to finish out the contract because
They
that's what the contract wants you
They
to
do
do.
also pay the fines of not showing up too because of the contract. So they're also paying you
Yeah,
every day
yeah.
they don't show
Okay.
up. So it's their
Well,
decision on that
you
too.
know what? Then it is absolutely their decision.
So I mean, does
If
that
they-
make it okay
yeah,
if they're
I
accepting
think
the
it,
penalties
yeah,
of it and you're not?
I think it
training with
makes
the
fine.
team?
I think it's
don't
fine.
like it. I don't like it
I,
at all. I
I mean,
think it's
yeah,
not.
I don't like it. I think, if you do that, sure. I mean, yeah, I get it. You're standing your ground. You want to make it known. But I mean, if the contract says, hey, you don't show up, you don't get money, whatever, that's fine. If you don't want to show up, you're just not getting the money. I think there's should be some punishments on the coach's side of things. Like, hey, this guy didn't practice. Well, that's kind of sucks. You're getting a little bit less play time or whatever. But at the end of the day, these guys are professionals. They know what they're doing. Um, they miss a few practices. That's kind of like whatever. It's
You
up to them at the end of the
do you
day.
know what the fine is? Do you know what the fine is?
Probably chump
Um,
change.
it's like 15K or something a day, something like that.
It's actually a little bit more. For rookies, so like Jamar Chase, it's $40,000 per day. So if you hold out of the entire training camp, it could be $2 million.
Yeah, but they're getting 4-year deals, like
Let-
CD for 36 mil a
Let's
year
think about it. Yeah,
or 34 mil a
you're
year.
like Caleb said, it is literally chump change. That's not enough. I don't know. I'm like a stickler for you have an obligation. You have a
Yeah, but it's also
you
like
signed a contract.
what's the player like worth? Like, yeah, well, obviously, what if everyone's like, okay, we play football, we'll all do 15 million deals. I got it.
You are worth to me. What happens there? You're worth what you're getting paid on your current contract. That's what you're worth. We can discuss a contract extension as much as you want. Obviously, there should. I will say this, devil's advocate. There should be clarity from the front office whether or not they're going to sign you before, because
Yeah,
you
and
know the
I
risk
think that's the
that
tough
you're
too.
running into.
Like, it's not actually. I never think it's like the player like talking directly. I think that it's all like their agents and
Oh
they
yeah,
set it up and talk with the back office and that kind of thing. Oh, you can get this, you can get that. That all plays in together too.
yeah,
I'm a big thing too. Like, it just not even like as like a money thing, as a personal level. Like, continue to be better. So after your 4-year deal that you know everyone's going to give you and you're going to make anyway, you're getting better every single day
Yep.
from those 4 years. Don't skip out. So I'm a big fan of showing up whether you have the deal or not. Even if you're going to play for another team next year, if they don't pay you, get that money. You get that
I agree.
bag somewhere else.
I mean, these tapes are going somewhere too. If you're still performing and even getting better at these practices,
I
mean,
also think it's a strategy too. To like, hey, let's get this done, so you can get me back in the field. Like, I think it's like, let's do a deal. So
yeah.
instead of like, I'm not going to come to practice unless we do a deal. Okay, we better hurry this up because we need our
Yeah.
number one receiver on the field. So
Realistically, that is
Oh, it absolutely is. That's
yeah.
why they do it.
I just don't like it. I don't like the mindset. That's basically saying like if you don't get what you want, you're not going to play. That is literally uh what's his name? Goddamn psycho that ran off the field on the Bucks.
AB.
Antonio Brown.
Yeah, thank you. AB. That's AB type stuff. You don't. It's like
CTE,
Stephon Diggs.
man.
Like it literally is
Dude,
a
he was
joke,
so
a
good,
mockery.
too.
It's
Oh, dude, he was fantastic.
yeah,
One of the best
and
receivers.
he's a psycho.
Yep. CT ESPN. Check it
Oh
out.
man, what
Best
a
news
time!
source.
That was a great time.
Just kidding.
All the memes and yeah, that was
Oh
awesome.
man,
All
he
right.
is a living legend.
But yeah, let's conclude everything here. You guys heard all of our thoughts on the It's Okay contract. Should they play? Should they not? Let us know. Comments. We're gonna throw up a Discord poll everything so you can vote if it's okay or if it's not okay. We're gonna mark the question. Link down in the description. Pop on over. Put your vote in. We can discuss it next week on what you guys thought and percentage and who thought it was okay, who was not okay. But that's it for this week. 8 a.m. every Thursday. Join us, the Fast Cast. We're going to be talking about all your fantasy news, all your prediction news, all your football news. Everything is at the Fastcast, YouTube, Twitter,
Every
Discord.
week.
Check us out. And that's it for this week. So everyone have a good one, and we'll see you next time.
Appreciate y'all.
Peace.